All right. Here we are. We're live. It's Thursday. It's 8 p.m. Got Samuel, my brother, myself, Cole House, and the man of the hour, Jon Perrien, the IOEBA president. Presidente.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. It's
What up, John?
We've been excited about it.
Definitely.
A lot of questions, a lot of stuff we wanted to know, and just yeah. I like how things are going so far. Yeah. So real quick, let's kind of tell us how far you go back with Oldies, how that started, and kind of how we got to where we are.
Okay, so kind of the origins of Oldies. Really, honestly, I was raised with it. My parents used to actually raise pit bulls, American Pit Bull Terriers. They had a kennel called Real Rocks Kennels. Since I was a kid, they kind of focused on old family red bloodline. And then kind of, started getting some other dogs and stuff, and then kind of got into the Oldies. I don't exactly know how they were introduced to them, but I had Oldies. So my parents started Rio Bravo, man, really since I was a kid. I mean, it was probably first time I remember an Oldie was probably, I'd say I was maybe 8. Yeah.
Grew up with them.
Yeah, I grew up with them. They had Rio Bravo Bulldogges. I took over Rio Bravo. Me and my wife took it over probably 15 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
I was actually starting my own kennel. My dad was in Rio Bravo, and I was starting my kennel trademark Bulldogges, and then I think I did my first breeding, and he was my dad's kind of health kind of declined a little bit, so he just wasn't able to, focus on the dogs like he wanted to. So kind of when he was ready to get out, I jumped on the opportunity to take over Rio Bravo and still have some of the same bloodlines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Where did those kind of original dogs come from?
A lot of them, honestly, were foundation breedings. Some of the original stock was Phoenix Blues bloodline, which that's kind of like not a really really old school bloodline, but a bloodline that was around back in the day. So it kind of ties into the registry too. My dad was friends with Richard Mullins, which he's a big American Bulldog guy. Had a dog named Mullins Bubba, and so they kind of played around with dogs back and forth, and some of the stuff was from that American Bulldogs and stuff like that.
Okay, so how long did you was the family have dogs and everything before the registry got started? How'd that start?
Can you say it again? You kind of cut out on me a little bit.
Okay. How long were you guys in the Bulldogges as the family and everything before the registry got started, or how did it get started? How the registry come about?
I would say that probably doing dogs maybe. So the registry got started. So kind of the origins of the registry. Richard Mullins actually started it like 94. He ran it for like a year, maybe a little longer, and then kind of had some personal problems and shut it down. And then in 95, my parents actually acquired the registry from him in 95 and been doing it since. They had dogs really that whole time. I mean, like I said, they started with the American Pit Bull Terriers and then kind of switched to the Oldies right around that same time.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. And then so it's been in the families since then, obviously.
You will?
I always thought that you were the one behind it the whole time.
A lot of people did. Did.
Yeah.
Maybe not the whole time, but people of late have kind of thought I was. Like I said, I took over Rio Bravo probably almost 15 years now, and talked to a lot of people that were like, "Oh, you on the registry?" It's like, no, my family does, but not me. I really didn't have. I mean, I worked in the office and stuff, and I haven't worked in the office probably maybe 10 years.
Yeah. Okay. Your internet may be a little slow over there. You're at you should have good Wi-Fi where you're at.
Yeah,
I can hear you though. I can hear you good. Okay. Just kind of yeah. So and then you took over this year.
I took over at the end of January.
Yeah.
The end of January. Yep.
That's awesome.
Exciting. We want to do a lot, man. We want to make the registration process simpler. We put a lot of the forms online, which is long overdue. We want to get shows going again. We had shows going for a while there, but honestly, kind of my dad's health kind of declined some, so he wasn't able to really focus on it as much. It takes a lot of work. Anyone who's ever done shows knows it takes a lot of work. So, but we want to focus on that now.
Yeah, I've never hosted a dog show, obviously, but just being around different events and different stuff, a lot goes into it.
Oh, yeah.
And and that's not things where, as far as like nothing's being judged there, awards and like that, just a function of people. Like, so I could imagine the work that goes into something like that.
Yeah,
you know,
just coordinating the event itself is hard to do, and get people there, and plus the dog show on top of it is just it's a lot, but it's definitely something we're going to take on.
Yeah. So, and the shows are coming back.
You're cutting out on me a little bit, man. I'm sorry.
Okay, and shows are coming back.
Yeah. We got one.
Let's talk about that.
September 13th and 14th in Springfield, Missouri.
Okay.
It's at the Springfield Expo Center.
Springfield Expo Center. I'm excited. Because, okay, look, I got a story for you. I got my first Olde, right? Her name was Nakona, and I got her registered, and I'm like, I got the show card. I did the whole business, right? And then it took till later on, and I'm like, man, they're not having shows. I just got this show card, whatever, right? But one day, I started a new job, and like I'm a very routine person, right? Started a new job, my routine got thrown off, and my wallet was gone, right? Right around the time I'm realizing I lost my wallet earlier in the morning, my phone rings. And a lady found my wallet and dug through it, and that show card was on there with my phone number on it. That's how I got my wallet back.
Wow.
So
everybody get a show card.
Yeah. I guess it was for nothing. It was money well spent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It was worth it.
Yeah. It was. So, but September, you said 13th, 11th?
Yeah. September 13th and 14th.
13th and 14th.
Yep.
In Springfield at the Expo Center.
Yep.
I like it.
You're gonna be there, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't miss this one.
Yeah.
I'm not a real big dog show person. You know what I mean? However, there's a couple big ones that we'll be at.
Good.
We'll make that, you know what I mean? We're gonna make it happen regardless. So
yeah, let me go with you.
Oh, you ain't? I'm not going without you, bro.
You better go there.
Yeah, we in this together. Yeah, so that's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be fun. And it's how many shows?
It is 4 shows and then 1 fun show.
4 shows and a fun show.
And then 1 fun show.
What's the fun show?
Fun show. Here. Let me see if I can get you the list of categories that we have. It may take a little bit to find it here. So it's just, fun show. It's just encouraging the kids to get out there. It doesn't have to be kids, but we really want to encourage the kids to get involved. And there's different categories. Some of them are like best blue, best, different colors, best rear end, best head. And it just allows people to, a dog can even be spayed and neutered and participate in that portion of it.
Nice. I want the trophy that says best rear end.
Hey.
Yeah. if that's the case.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's gonna be fun, man. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to it. So besides, what other changes are we making, or have you made to the website? You plan to making, or what have you made so far?
So we put all our forms online. Do you mind if we screen share here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Let's see if I can switch over here. Can you see this working well? Is this working for you guys?
Yeah.
So we put all our forms online. One of the big complaints that we were kind of hearing is that the temporaries, which is a certificate that you get when you register a litter, so you get a temporary for each puppy.
Right.
Customers had to mail those in, and snail mail. So we were able to get those online. So you can just go registration, online registration, and then submit a temporary right online. So we put that online. It's pretty basic app. We just want people to write void on the front and back of it, so that it voids that out, and we know that is no longer in circulation, so people can't double register dogs or anything like that. But pretty much it allows you to do everything on here on the form itself. And then we did what other forms did we do? So the only other form that we're missing, the ability to do online is our transfer of ownership, which I'll probably have that up towards the hopefully by the end of next week. I've been kind of putting up some other forms. Another thing we put online, we started this event tab. This will kind of show our upcoming event. So this is the show we have here in Springfield.
There it is.
You can reserve your booth here, sponsor a trophy, which I don't know, Chuck from Beach Bulldog sponsored a trophy here last week. We posted that. You can fill out the show entry forms, and we encourage people to do this early. That way you don't have to do it at the event itself. So you can fill out this form. Are you guys able to see what I'm showing here?
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
So you can fill this out ahead of time and have that ready to go before you get to the show. That'll kind of save your time there. So put that online. Let's see here. I've been working on all these forms here, which is,
I dig it, man, because it's time. We're in 2025 now, and
definitely
not to be funny or nothing, but there's a couple, like at my job. I'll use my job where I work. It's like 1997 there still.
Yeah,
just all kind of papers, So I dig. I really appreciate stuff like this.
Yeah. So like I just did all these forms. So these are anything to do with like a show. So if you're interested in hosting a show, interested in becoming a judge or rep, there's forms for everything.
So what is the criteria for judges and reps, and what do they do?
So here, let me get back here.
Well, we obviously know what a judge does, but the rep, I'm curious what the rep does.
So rep is going to be someone who is trusted through the registry to go and help someone who's interested in hosting a show run the show efficiently. So deal with registration, just kind of keep the cadence of the show going.
Okay.
So it's kind of a trusted person that the registry can kind of rely on to go to these different shows and just help the flow of the show work out.
Okay. And their presence kind of makes it official.
It doesn't necessarily make it official. They're just it's official when they fill out the application to host the sanctioned show itself.
Okay.
But their presence just helps with the flow of it. So, obviously, what a judge does. The rep just kind of, they help with the flow, and then the host is the guy who's actually hosting the event. So it eliminates here, let me go back to here. It eliminates the need to necessarily do clubs. That's kind of how we were doing it before is, getting, different people would want to start a club. Well, the downside to a club is that you have to get people to work together. You know what I mean? So that's always going to be downside. It's always hard to do at times. So I'm not saying we're not doing clubs as well. We're going to end up doing both, but this just allows someone who, if you were interested in hosting your own show, you can do that. You can do that. You can, we're going to eventually have a list of judges, a list of reps, and you can utilize those people to help you accomplish what you're trying to do, which is host your show.
Okay. And what are the criteria, qualifications, or whatever to be for the judges?
For a judge, I mean, we want someone here. Let me go. Sorry, I'm getting used to navigating between the two, I guess, here.
Okay.
So this is a judge application. So it's just getting general information, and then it just asks for your experience that you have. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger. So it's asking for, what experience you've had with any other clubs. A lot of times, as you know, in the dog world, some people who are in the oldie world right now, they may have started in doing English Bulldogs or a different breed. So it's just asking any type of experience with any other organization or our organization, and then kind of your experience with dogs, how long you've been raising dogs, just general experience with dogs, and then we kind of get all that information together. We want someone a judge is going to be someone who obviously understands all the standards, not just the Old English Bulldog standard, all the breeds that we do register, and they're able to, examine a dog and determine if a dog fits the standard. So someone who's, obviously the best person to be involved in a judge is going to be someone who's well experienced, who's been in the dog game for a good amount of time.
You got to be versatile, bro.
For sure. And you gotta know the standards and what you're looking for.
Multifaceted, multi-layered. Come on, bro.
Yeah, that's the part of dog shows that I was kind of surprised by. I didn't know every judge judged everything. I thought the oldie people had at the oldie, somebody would judge them, somebody would judge this. I didn't know it was like one round of everything for every judge, which is cool, but it kind of surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of both. I mean, like if you're doing AKC or whatever, they'll have shows just based on specific breeds. They'll have shows, with multiple breeds, but if they're doing it on a specific breed, obviously that judge is just going to judge that specific breed. But with us, I mean, we register a total of 13 different breeds, so you have to be well versed and educated in all these breeds.
Yeah. 13, huh?
Yeah.
What are they? 13 of
them. So we do the Lapahal. The Lapahal Blue Blood Bulldog, American Bulldogs, American Bullies, American Pit Bull Terriers, Bantam Bulldogs, Banter Bulldogs, Comparo Bulldog, English Bulldogs, French Bulldogs, Old Boston Bulldog. Let me think here. Obviously the oldie, Shorty Bulls. We just started doing Shorty Bulls.
Like it.
We just started doing Shorty Bulls. I'm excited about that.
I like those little dogs, man. They're
Some
cool.
of these shorties are awesome, man. They look great. Some of
these
shorties are awesome. And then we do Valley Bulldogs as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I know you got some people you've announced that are going to be judges, are judges.
Yeah. So one of them is Jamie Sweet. Jamie Sweet's going to judge the show. Jamie, she's been involved in these dogs forever. She was well known in the oldies, had some awesome oldies, really awesome oldies, kind of heavy on the American, or not heavy on the American side, but, in my opinion, the best foundation breedings, American Bulldog, oldie, American Bulldog, EB are the best foundation breedings. She had dogs that were awesome. And then she kind of did the impossible per se, and she created the Shorty Bull. And Shorty Bulls, they're awesome, man. She created her own breed, and if you follow anything about the Shorties, they're awesome.
Yeah, we had her on, and I told her, I said, when I first seen him, I thought it was just like a puppy, a bulldog puppy. I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was cool. And then I went to a couple more dog shows, and I said, that's what that is. Like, and I dig it. I think they're cool little dogs, nice, clean little bulldogs.
Yeah. That's what we want as a judge, though, is someone who's been in the dog game a long time, done good things, produced good dogs, can tell a good dog from a bad dog.
Yeah.
And someone like Jamie, who's produced awesome dogs as well. And really, she's done more than most people. She's created her own breed.
Yeah.
That there stands out.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else?
Then we got Tony Clay. He's gonna apprentice one show, and then he's gonna judge. He's already apprenticed some shows, but then we kind of stopped doing shows. But he's gonna apprentice one, and then he's gonna judge. He's gonna judge one as well.
Yeah,
Big Tone. Salute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Another guy who's produced some good dogs. Got some really good dogs. Been around for a while. I mean, those are the people we want as judges.
Yeah, we've had Tony on here too. Tony's cool.
Oh yeah,
he's my kind of people.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I had him on here more than once.
Have you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have a good time. He's like I said, I can't wait to actually be somewhere and he's there. We get to hang out. You know what I mean? But
I look forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've actually met him. I think I may have. But man, I got a terrible memory. So, but I definitely look forward to meeting him. He's done some good things with the dogs. So.
Yeah, we got a question in here. I'm gonna put up. It's something that we were gonna get to eventually anyway, but since it's come up, it says, "Do we anticipate any changes with the OEB standard updates, revisions?"
So this is so we did change on the standard. So the one thing we did change with the standard is we do now allow.
Go ahead.
We do now allow long coated oldies. There's a lot of mixed kind of reviews in regards to this. Some of the peers will say, "Well, that's not an oldie." But anybody who's been doing these dogs, especially, doing them for a long time, the oldies have always produced long-coated dogs, and those dogs were removed from breeding programs. The breeding standard originally said that it was a DQ, but it wouldn't have even been mentioned if it didn't take place. So it was there. It just wasn't. It was frowned upon.
Yeah.
But you can't deny something that's already there. You know what I mean? It's.
You can, but
you can, but it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Right. It's part of these dogs. I personally don't own any long coated oldies, but I did. I didn't. But my parents, when I was younger, had a litter that had a couple long haired dogs in there, and it's just part. And these are dogs that have, extensive pedigrees with dogs who are well known, who are established in this. In this dog world. So it's there. It's something that it needed to be changed. And with the advancement of genetics and stuff, people have really been able to capitalize on all these things. When the whole color thing came about, these people who have been doing these dogs for a long time. When the whole color thing came about, they were like, "Oh, that's a mutt, you're this and that." But it's there. It's a component of the breeds that created this breed.
Yeah.
It's like American Pit Bull Terriers. Back in the day, they're like, "Oh, well, the blues are mutts, and any tri dog." There's historical photos with dogs. There's historical photos with dogs with tri pattern. And then colors, it's part of this, all these breeds. And people, as genetics have advanced, people have really been able to capitalize on that and isolate the specific genetics and then duplicate that. And you can't really blame someone for if they have something that they feel is special and it is part of the breed, doing that.
Yeah.
So that's a big change that we did. That's going to cost. Some people are going to be upset at that, but it's something that's part of the breed.
Some people are going to be upset anyways because they're just
Some
upset.
people
That's
were
who they
upset
are.
that we didn't
What they
register
do.
that in the first place.
Huh?
You know, people were upset that we didn't register that in the first place because they're like, hey, I produced this dog with a longer coat.
Yeah.
And if you look at my dog's pedigree, and they people were showing us DNA, showing us DNA saying this dog come from this, and you go back in this dog's pedigree, and anyone who's been breeding these dogs, they have these same dogs in their pedigree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had a dog at one point that was unregisterable because he had like a grandparent with the L gene or something like that. But it never bothered me like that. Like, things are what they are. There's rules for everything, and
So let me.
I'm not a mad person though.
Yeah. I'll just touch on that real quick, okay? I want to elaborate on that just a little bit more.
Okay.
So, 1 second here. So this is what we did with the standard with that, okay? So we changed it, and so in regards to coat, this is how it reads, okay? The coat should be short, smooth, and close to the body. While a short coat remains the preferred standard for the Old English Bulldog, a long coat is now permitted and does not constitute a disqualifying fault. Longer coated individuals may exhibit feathering on the legs, ears, or neck area, as well as an overall longer coat length, which is acceptable. And then it says, however, in confirmation evaluations, preference will be given to dogs with a shorter coat when all other characteristics are equal. So the standard still does lean towards and prefer a shorter coated dog, but longer coated oldies are still now permitted.
I like it.
So what do we call the oldie with the long coat? Is it just...
No, it's an oldie. None of this other stuff.
It's not a mammoth or...
It is not. No, that was created because those dogs were... I mean, honestly, when we first got those, the registry is going to hear about all this before the rest of the world does. You know what I mean? So when that first got brought about, the genetic testing just wasn't there. So they were revoked. The registry was kind of under the impression, hey, these dogs aren't, you added something, or someone snuck in the pen or whatever. But like I said, with the advancement of genetics, it's been proven that these dogs are what they are. So initially, the registry did deny them, and then that's why people started. They coined that the mammoth name and this and that, but they are an oldie, so we'll register them how they're supposed to be registered.
I'm not a fan of it. I don't like the long hair. I don't like it.
Some people don't, man. It's just honest. I mean, like I said, I don't own one personally, but you can't deny that they're part of this breed. I mean, they've been anyone who's been doing this. I've been involved in this my whole life. There's, like I said, we produced it 20 years ago. You know what I mean? And I know others have as well.
Yeah.
And I know others have as well. So there's just if you had a program going for 20 years and then you produce a dog that had a long coat, and then I said, hey, you got to go, man, that's no good, you're going to be like, dude, what did I do wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just not right to revoke registration based on that, especially when it's part of the breed.
And it's not going anywhere.
It's not.
Yeah. And like I said, they're not my my cup of tea either, but
yeah, I mean, it ties in with the color. I mean, everyone likes the color thing now. The big fat of the color and stuff. When the color got brought about, man, a bunch of people were dislike the color, saying it's not, it's not part of the breed, and it just is. People were just able to capitalize on that, and people like it, and they've focused on it.
Yeah. I won't pick a dog because of a color or whatever, but I'd be lying if I said things didn't catch my eye. You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, pretty's pretty, but you should never pick any dog, especially, I mean, in the show ring. That doesn't come into play whatsoever. I mean, colors, not all colors are accepted. That the color does not come into play whatsoever. I mean, it's all about structure. So.
Yeah, but I'm talking about walking out in my backyard, be like, well, look at all that different stuff out there. You know?
Oh, I had my male Sasquatch. He's passed away now, but black and tan man, and he's my baby. And man, I'd take him anywhere, and people are like, "What is that?" Like, you got a bulldog that looks like a rot. Like, how does that? He's colored like a rot, which he was kind of one of the first well-known ones.
Yeah, I got a thing for tries.
Yeah. That's my thing. If you follow my program at all, my black and tans, blue and tans, lilac and tans, I'm not focusing on color whatsoever, but it does look pretty.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like it's just enough of something, right? Enough of a pattern or whatever, but without going too, you know what I mean?
Color is something you can play with when everything else is in place. You know what I mean?
The dog's right.
Exactly. In place, when head type's in place, then you can play with color. But it is fun to. I mean, I'm not saying I have perfect dogs, but it is fun to play with that as well.
Yes, sir. Let's see here. What else we got? So, give me 1 second. So so far, that's the only change that's been made to the standard is just the addition of the long hair. Nothing else come in, or
no. I mean, the standard is, if you're ever going to change a standard, it has to be extremely well thought of. And I mean, you can't change a standard for breeders or you know what I mean? The standard is the standard, and breeders need to really focus on breeding towards the standard. Especially, I mean, these dogs, man, there's some inconsistency. There's a lot of awesome dogs out there. There's some people that really like the athletic style dog, which I love them too. And then there's the other end of the spectrum. Some people are focusing too much and making these dogs too much like an English bulldog. I mean, the whole purpose of an oldie, we all want our oldies to look like a bulldog. I mean, they should look like a bulldog. You should see this dog walking down the road and say that's a bulldog. But you shouldn't look at this dog and see it walking down the road and it be near death. You know what I mean? We want these dogs to be able to function. So breeders need to really focus on breeding towards the standard and producing dogs that are functional and healthy dogs. Like I said, I think some people like the athletic side, which is good and everything, but some people like the extreme side. I think more people tend to like the extreme side, but at times I think it's taken too far. We need to really make sure these dogs aren't, just another English bulldog.
Yeah. I dig it. So we talked a little bit yesterday about the things that help speed up, slow down with registrations. What are some of the common questions you get, mistakes people make, things that kind of slow the process down?
So I recommend everybody who's sending in paperwork, fill out these online applications. We cannot control the post office. So a lot of the calls we deal with every day are people calling and saying, "Hey, did you receive my paperwork?" And typically a person will apply credit card information on the forms itself. So we ask them if they've, if the money was withdrawn, because the first thing we're going to do is withdraw the money, but that allows them to know if we received it. But it takes, right now, the post office is taking so long. Right now, we're seeing about 2 weeks is what it's taking just to get to us. If you fill that out online, we have it there immediately. You can fill out this form online. I have it immediately. So we can start processing it right away.
Yeah.
So I recommend everyone fill out these forms online. That'll really speed up the process. People who another big thing that slows us down is getting approvals from stud owners. So we can't just, if you fill out paperwork and you fill out for a litter and you bred to Tony Clay's dog, I have to make contact with Tony Clay and verify that you bred to his dog. I can't just say, yeah, he did it. You know what I mean? So if you can call Tony Clay and say, hey, I filled out my litter, call the office, or hey, they're going to be calling you here soon. That really tends to slow us down, is getting stud owner approvals. So approving litters. That's a big one. Let's see. Mailing it in. I feel like there's another one we talked about the other day that I'd like to mention. It's kind of slipping my mind right now.
We were talking about single dog registrations a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. So one thing people don't realize, if you're gonna dual register your dog with us, or you're filling out a single, to fill out to single register your dog with us, we require 3 generations of pedigree information, and then we require a copy of the registration certificate from an accredited registry. So say you got an English Bulldog and you want to register with us. Like I said, we require three generations of pedigree information, and we require that because if your customers want that, we want to be able to provide that to them. And then we need the dog registered in your name. That way I can't just go,
with breeding rights.
And breeding rights is another one. So, so to single register a dog, 3 generations pedigree information, a copy of the other registry's registration certificate in your name, and then 3 photos, 1 headshot and 1 of each side shot, profile shot, and then you can single register a dog with us. Another thing that people tend to do, and I hate that they do this, because then you open up. They think they're doing a good thing, but they're really not. They're so as a breeder, I sell a dog with no breeding rights. Breeders tend to not give that registration paperwork to that customer.
I'm guilty.
So when you do that, you're allowing that customer is going to go, and I think you told me you had an issue with this, but that customer is going to go and try to get that dog registered with a different organization, or try to register it with us. So
the scenario that I encounter, like I have dachshunds, right? And mine are AKC, but somebody can take that AKC paperwork, even without breeding rights, and get a pedigree, right? From AKC, get a pedigree, and then take that to, it's called CKC, and get their dog. Right. So that made me just kind of, if you don't get breeding rights, then.
So how to prevent that? And that's why I wish people wouldn't do that, is what you do is you give them that temporary puppy registration, but on the back of that form, you check limited registration. Yeah. So no matter what, whenever you send any registry that has any type of credibility whatsoever, is going to request that information. When they send that in and it shows no breeding rights, they should register that dog no breeding rights, or they're not a good registry. So give your customers, if you're selling puppies with no rights, give them that temporary puppy registration with no breeding rights. Allow them to register that dog as non-breedable. That way that dog still has paperwork. So, and that also, that helps out, man. We deal with a lot of rescues and stuff, and they're trying to, I just dealt with one last week. Rescue called me and they're like, hey, we got this dog. This is an oldie. We got this dog, and a guy came and surrendered this dog. He gave paperwork and everything, and we're trying to get a hold of the breeder. Well, on the registration paperwork, it doesn't have the breeder's information, but they called us. I got a hold of that breeder, said, hey, man, one of your dogs got in this rescue. They're trying to reach you. And I connected the two.
Yeah.
You don't provide that paperwork, then you got this dog that has nowhere to go. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of benefits to keeping the paperwork with the dog. If you're trying to sell dogs with no rights, mark that limited registration. That's another thing we're talking about. Some people tend to complain about how long it takes to register a dog or receive paperwork back. There's a lot of follow through. If it was easy, the easiest is, you register a litter, you get a temporary, you send temporary, and that's easy. But if you're doing singles and stuff, or switching from a different registry to us, we have to follow through with all that paperwork, and we have to, as a registry, we want to respect other breeders, even if they don't register with us. So we have to get approval from other breeders that may not want to talk to us, or a breeder that just simply doesn't want to register with us. But we still have to follow through and make contact with that person. So that's why sometimes, if it was as easy as, getting a piece of paper, transferring information from here to there, yeah, but it's really not. I mean, there's a lot.
If it was that easy, everybody would have registry.
There's a lot more to it that people don't realize.
Yeah.
I was talking to Jamie Sweet about this. She has registry as well, and she kind of understands. And there's just a lot to it, man, that people don't realize.
Yeah.
And we want to be thorough. You know what I mean? If you're doing these dogs, and you don't want someone to just randomly register a dog from you, you know what I mean, claiming that it's a dog that you produce or didn't produce. But and people, you'd be surprised on kind of the stuff that people try to do.
Yeah, I see him like on the people go on Facebook like, oh, how do I get papers on my dog? Like, you don't got papers?
Yeah.
Like, no, they and it's like,
yeah. You gotta give them that paperwork though, because then you break up the dog from the paperwork, and then you can't control what happens with that dog. That person may sell that dog, or you know what I mean. They something craziness happens. Someone else gets that dog, and then they try to do something with that dog, use it in a program, and end up having a litter off a dog that's non-breedable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So at least if you provide that paperwork, they can have that understanding before they ever do that type of, put themselves in that type of situation.
I like it. So let me ask you a question. Something we haven't talked about. Since you've taken over, have you noticed a lot of renewed interest, or people kind of, more programs, more people getting on board, coming out?
Yeah, we have for sure. We really want to focus on, providing a good customer experience, getting paperwork out there as fast as possible, but still being thorough and providing good paperwork. But yeah, I have definitely seen, we've gotten a lot of good feedback. People saying that they like that they're able to do these forms online. People are really interested in doing shows. That is a part that kind of surprised me. We used to do shows, and people, we had a good turnout back in the day too, but you never know when you're doing a show. Like, I feel like no one's going to show to this show. Hopefully as packed as can be, you know what I mean? But I think I've realized a lot of people, and it's good for the breed, really. A lot of people, and when I say the breed, our primary focus is the oldie, but we register a lot of different breeds. It's not just the oldie, you know what I mean?
Come on.
We do.
I like that because we went to the ABKC show, and you're there, you're welcome to be there, whatever, but it's somebody else's sandbox.
Yeah. It is. You're always going to be the stepchild.
Yeah, we had to wait through 46 different classes of like, golly, come on, man. So yeah.
I mean, oldies are our primary focus. Like I said, we do register other breeds as well, for sure, but oldies definitely are our primary focus. Kind of lost my train of thought on what I was trying to explain to you, but
about renewed interest, or
I've seen a lot of renewed interest. That's what I was about to say. I was surprised on how many people want and desire shows. Back in the day, we were doing shows and stuff, and it was successful. But I think a lot of, as the breed has kind of grown in popularity, which, man, when I was doing this, when my parents first started this and stuff, and you'd ask a common person if you know what an oldie is, they didn't know. So the breed has grown a lot. I think now if you get 10 people together and you ask them if you know what an oldie is, hopefully 5 of them will know. Back in the day, you'd be lucky to have 1 out of 100. Like, it just wasn't a popular breed. But as it's growing popularity, I think these breeders and stuff, these new breeders and stuff, they have an interest in doing these dog shows, and we have an interest in hosting them. So we really want to focus on that and have dog shows all across the country, not just, this dog show is the first one to get going, but, I'm going to use this little moment to tell the world, hopefully, if you're interested in doing dog shows, if you want to be a judge, if you want to participate in one way or another with the registry and shows, and make contact. We have all these.
If you want to be an artist and don't want the producer all in the videos,
in the music videos, come to Death Row.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
No, that was perfect.
Yeah. But like I said,
I have seen a lot of interest. To answer your question, yes.
Yeah,
and it's exciting. It's exciting.
It is. What you got, bro?
It's a surprise to me though. That comment. I haven't heard a lot of dogs named Suge Knight, nothing like that. That's crazy. You figure that'd be a big dog name? I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna get you a list. I have the list.
Yeah. So I'm excited about the show.
Yeah,
I'm excited about shows in general.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I always say like, I'm not a big dog show person, but I've only been to, like I said, I've been to ABKC a couple times, and just stuff that wasn't about us. Really, we were allowed to be there. Maybe when it's about us and a bunch of our people, and
it'll feel better.
You know what I mean? It'll be different. So,
yeah. I mean, it's we want to, and that's a difference too. Our shows are going to be family events. You know what I mean? A family safe event. If you've ever attended any of these other organization shows, some of them are pretty rough. And we're not going to do that. I mean, we want the kids to get involved in these fun shows and stuff like that. We're going to start a junior handler program so that these kids can handle and stuff. And that's how you grow a breed. You know what I mean? That's how you got to invest in the future generation. So we want to do this junior handler stuff and just provide a family event, safe event that we all have a good time at. Focus around the things, but focus around, even if you don't plan on showing at the show, come to the show, participate in a fun show, or just hang around people in the community.
Yeah. So, are there any like needs still for the show? Vendors, food trucks, anything that you're still looking for?
We'd like some trophy sponsorship. People would be surprised on how expensive these shows are. We've invested a lot of money into this sponsorship. Hopefully it goes full circle. Hopefully, it's advertisement for different kennels and stuff like that. But trophy sponsorships, if people are wanting to get booths, we would like people to start reserving, booths and sponsorships so that we know what kind of turnout we have. So the event is actually there's catering there provided by the Expo Center.
Oh, okay.
So maybe this specific event, we wanted to kind of show, hey, we can do this. Really, really nice place. But I also like kind of the old school way where, you got some food trucks there, kind of that barbecue, bullies and barbecue type setup. You know what I mean? Where there's a lot of socializing and stuff like that. So I think we're going to kind of do a little blend of the two. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Last one we went to, man, they had food trucks, right? Yeah. But it was raining like crazy outside. It was So but that's part of leaving the West Coast is you can't count out the rain ever.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say this. So for this show in September too, we also got a discounted rate on the hotel. So there's a hotel. It's part of the event center as well. The hotel is. So we got discounted rates. So if you are going to come, those do stop being available at a discounted rate 30 days prior to the show. So if you do plan on coming to the show, reserve those now. They would only give me like 10 at a time. So once those 10 are gone, then they'll give me another 10. But once that 30, within 30 days to the show, you're going to pay full rate, and that place does sell out. So I will say, if you do plan on attending the show we have here in September, reserve early.
Is it a nice hotel?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a nice place. It's a really nice place. The whole
Nice.
place. I mean, the venue's super nice.
Yeah.
That's super nice.
Okay. And so Springfield is how far from St. Louis?
Springfield is about 3, if I'm not mistaken, about 3 hours southwest of St. Louis.
So it's by Branson then.
Springfield is about 45 minutes north of Branson.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I know where that's at.
Right in the middle. So everyone in the whole country should come.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna try to get them out there. Like I said, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about doing some stuff there. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time.
So what we talked about, do you plan on doing what we talked about?
Oh yeah.
What I missed?
There too.
We're going to do kind of the play-by-play. We're gonna talk to the winners, things like that.
That'd be nice. I think that'll allow people who don't attend to be able to kind of see how it is and almost feel
maybe
like
want to start attending.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
we want to grow this thing, man. I have as you know, I was a police officer before this, and I completely stopped my career to do this. I mean, I'm focused on this. This is what we want to do. We're going to grow this. We have a lot of ambition and a lot of plans that we are going to accomplish.
Hey, bro, who does he look like?
Don't say Butterbean.
No. Somebody from my life.
He used to call me Butterbean.
You don't see it, huh?
I don't see it.
Looks like Fuentes.
Oh,
yes.
He must be an extremely handsome person.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a friend of mine from high school. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, okay. Let's see. We got
this. Hey, so can we see some dogs? This is a dog show. Can we see some dogs or something? Some dogs.
Like you want to see?
I mean, just dog. I love the dogs. I want to see some.
We got to get more
pictures.
Oh man, you know what I want to show you? I just went through a bunch of historical photos. I wish you would have told me this before because I would have got them all together. I have a lot of historical photos. I just found a folder. So we had this website that we have now. It's a brand new website. I wouldn't say brand new, but it's probably 5 years old. Keeping up with the times. So it gives us a lot more ability. But our previous website, we had a bunch of these photos on there. And but man, I have a list, a ton of historical photos that show bulldogs and what the English bulldog used to be. Because the oldie is a recreation of what the English bulldog, it's a recreation of the original bulldog.
Yeah.
Original bulldog and these historical photos I have. Man, these dogs have tails. They're built like these oldies, man. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And you have they're not a computer. They're hard.
I have a hard drive and I don't have it with me. But I'm gonna put it on. I'll be putting them on the website and dropping them little by little on Facebook.
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. So I have a question on we had something we haven't talked about, and if it's a no-fly zone, just say that or blink twice if you're.
Give me half a second. Do you mind if I get up real quick?
Yeah.
I gotta get some water real quick.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good.
High quality H2O.
I forgot mine, but I'm be all right.
Hydration is important.
Hydration beats a slow donation. We're gonna get it.
I don't understand what that means, but all right.
I worked at the plasma center too long, bro. It's one of those things. It's a reflex.
Slow donation.
Yep.
Sound like church.
We just tell them drink. Yeah. No nation like donation. All right. So you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that.
All right. So my question is,
hold on. All water doesn't taste the same.
Ooh.
This is true.
What's your
I'm an Aquafina man.
That's disgusting.
We're well water.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
All right. So
That's fair.
you guys, we register American Bullies. I didn't know this.
Yeah, we register American Bullies.
Has it always been, or?
Yeah, we've had American Bullies for a long time. One thing we don't do that other registries do, and I really think I like that we don't do it. They have varieties. You know what I mean? So they have the micro,
pocket standard,
extreme, the XXL, and what I think that has done is that, you know, when these other registries came about and they were doing this thing, that wasn't a thing. You know, there was just the American Bully standard. Mm-hmm. And by creating these varieties, what I really think it's done is it's, you know, how can you say a dog that's this tall? You know, I'm just going to use the camera screen, but a dog that's this tall and then a dog that's this tall, how is it the same breed? You know, these exotics don't look anything like these XXLs. You know what I mean? So our standard for the American Bully is really based off of the original standard, which is the standard classic type.
Okay.
We just have one standard for the American Bully, and I really think that's the right way to do it because, like I said, you get these extremes and they look like little physical wrecks, and then you get these XXLs that kind of look like, you know, a massive type dog.
My question is here's the part. Blink twice if you're you know what I mean?
I feel it coming now. I don't know.
What about these Brazilian bullies?
Brazilian bullies.
The Brazilian bulls, pit monsters, whatever. Like ABKC starting to take them. They're like XL mixed with some sunshine bulls, and they're monsters.
Oh, so I mean, those are sunshine bulls. They you're talking like the oldies they have, or they have Americans too, but
yeah, well, they put them they put XLs in them. XLs with the American Bulldog from there, and they call them the Brazilian Bull. They're big old dogs. Like
I'll be honest, that's not
on the radar.
That's not on my radar really.
Okay.
I mean, in regards to like any type of foundation breeding and stuff like that, we're always selective on that. You know, we still do foundation breedings with the oldies. Some of the best foundation breedings, you know, the oldies and other breeds as well that we register, like the valleys and stuff like that. But some of the best foundation breed, some of the best oldies, period, are foundation. American Bulldog, English Bulldog, American Bulldog, Old English Bulldog. So we're not against foundation breedings. But with that said, we want to be very selective on what foundation breedings we do.
Yeah.
You know, we get people calling all the time. You know, I got an oldie and my neighbor's got an English Bulldog, and you know, it jumped the fence or whatever. We deny these dogs. I mean, if you're not doing a foundation breeding as an established breeder who has an end goal in mind, then we don't want to register those dogs. You know, you're just tainting the water.
I like it.
With that said, I mean, we do foundation breedings, but in regards to that specifically, I guess that's you know, is it just a breeder just kind of playing around, or are they trying to create a breed?
Well, like I said, last I heard, or because it was kind of like something that was popping out there for a little bit, and ABKC started to register them, and
so what are they actually registering them as?
I'm not exactly sure. Brazilian Bulls, what they register them as.
Well,
yeah.
So we do have a Comparo Bulldog, which has their origins in Brazil, and they're we've registered those for a long time, and they're really small. There's a small population of them. There's a lot of things that, you know, that's a whole nother breed that, you know, like I said, has their origins from Brazil and stuff, but there's a very small population, and they've kind of asked for approval to do a couple foundation breedings to kind of widen up their lines a little bit. But that's kind of, you know, I don't think that is what you're referring to.
Not exactly. But
would this be where the F1 comes from?
like an F1, like Foundation 1 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so F1, so that is just recording like F1, F2, F3. That is just a representation of a foundation breed. So if I have an American Bulldog and I breed it to an English Bulldog or an Oldie, someone I have an established program. You know what I mean? I've been doing this a while. If I have an end goal in mind, and then we would accept that breeding. And that would be an F1 breeding. And then you get that dog and you breed it back to an oldie, that'd be an F2 breeding. And then F3. And then after that, it's generational.
Yeah. And then blue ribbon is what?
Blue ribbon is any dog that has 3 generations of dogs behind it that have been registered with our registry. So that's one thing I want to touch on too. Foundation does not mean poor quality. Generational does not mean
doesn't mean good quality.
You know what I mean? They don't. They don't. You know that doesn't. There's not set rules in that. There's some foundation. There's some F1. When we were doing shows back in the day, there's some F1 champion dogs that are really, really, really nice dogs. There's some of the best oldies. Period are F1 dogs.
Yeah,
we're talking some old school oldies, some of the new stuff. I mean, there's some really good quality dogs out there.
Yeah, and then sometimes the generational stuff, because with so much get so tight, they start getting kind of small. And
I mean, if you don't know how to breed, just because you got dogs that are generational, you could produce junk. You know
yeah.
So it's not just you can't breed a dog based off paper. You know what I mean? You got to breed a dog off what you have there in front of you, and pair it up with a dog that complements it well.
Absolutely. What you got, bro?
All right, go
ahead. And what other countries do we have? Do we have dogs in? Are there going to be shows in other places eventually, or?
So we register dogs worldwide. I mean, we register dogs England, Australia, Mexico, Canada. We do a lot of Canada, Brazil.
What's in Mexico?
There's oldies in Mexico. There's Americans.
Dog scene's popping in Mexico, believe it or not.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's the oldies are really popular in Canada too. The Netherlands. I mean, if you go on our website and you go to the roster of registered kennels, that's showing all. And I'll just go there real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
So if you go roster of registered kennels, these are all, you can just click, we'll just go, each state, these are all kennels that have registered with us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and so you'll be able to go, each state has them, Canada, and you see they do oldies. They do English, Frenchies, oldies, Bantam Bulldogs, Frenchies, oldies.
What's a Bantam Bulldog?
So a Bantam, and I wish I had those historical photos. A Bantam Bulldog is they used to, historically, there's a miniature Bulldog. There's actually a miniature Bulldog historically, and I have photos of them that I need to post up too. But at this point, it's a recreation of the old historical. So it's, the oldie is a recreation of what the English Bulldog used to be. The original English Bulldogs didn't have a screw tail, we're much more like the old is now.
Bantam job to do.
Bantam Bulldogs, there was a smaller Bulldog. I mean, it was kind of the predecessor to the French Bulldog. It was the predecessor to the French Bulldog.
That's kind of what I was going to ask. Was it between those two? On the way there. You know what I mean?
It helped create the French Bulldog of today.
Yeah.
So does Bantam just mean small?
Correct.
Yeah, like the chickens. Chickens.
Bantam chickens.
Bantam chickens. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a small Bulldog, and see if I need to get, like I said, the website's not completely done. I hope we'll see here.
How small are we talking?
Let's see here. Well, here's the standard for it.
I'm gonna have to do Chat GPT real quick.
Let me
So here's the standard for it on our website. So here's some Madden Bulldogs that we've registered with us.
Okay. That's what you got, bro.
Whatever, man.
Here's some historical photos of them.
Yeah.
Ooh,
okay.
Yeah.
You can't tell me about them at try markings.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I see the 10 points, definitely.
You got points, yeah.
Yeah.
What about that everybody's favorite, the brindle right there? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There's a mug on that dude.
They're smaller, 20 to 40 pounds. And not all the standards are on the website just yet. I have them all. I just need to put them on there.
That's cool.
But I mean, 10 to 16 inches for males.
Yeah, bro. You got Banny's house.
I got pockets.
You got pocket bullies?
No, he's talking about oldies. My little 15-inch oldies.
Oh, you got some oldies on the smaller side?
Yeah. A little
on
shorter
the smaller side. Oh, yes.
Yeah, the shorter side.
There you go. Muy chiquito.
Yeah, but
I can't see you guys if you're still there.
I'm there we go. We got some questions, but one thing I do want to say though, since the forums are now online, right, and that should mean more traffic to the website. So people who are breeders, whatever, man, them litter ads, them stud ads, all that stuff, like fill that stuff up. Let's make it a place that people can go look and find stuff like it's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
That's another thing, man. I want to put so much on that website. I mean, I have a lot of information that is just not on there yet. We've been working on a lot, man. We've done all these online forums. A lot people were really telling me they were interested in shows and stuff. So I want to hear what the community has to say, and I want to focus on that and just focus on all our breeds. Again, oldies kind of our number one there. But I want that website. It just has so much potential to be an information hub. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's really what we want it to be.
That's what it should be. I remember when I got my first oldie, that's how I found the breeder, was on there. You know what I mean? They had their kennel registered, and I went through the ones that are close to me, because at this point, that's all I know. Okay, well, let's start here in Arkansas, and I went through and found one.
I'm gonna throw a little shout out there. Give me 1 second here.
Okay.
So we're also part of making it's not the same, but it is kind of in the same realm there. Bully Breeds Marketplace. So that's going to be a platform. It is a platform. It's already up and active, and it's my dad actually started this, and so he's really focusing on providing a platform for all bully breeds to be able to find, advertise your studs, advertise your puppies, but focus on bully breeds. So that's
what's the one more time?
Bully Breeds with an S Marketplace. And the website is bullybreedsmarketplace.com. So it just got up and running, but that's a whole nother thing that we're excited about. That's a platform to be able to advertise your dogs but focused on these bully breeds.
I like it. Yeah, because like I said, it should be an information hub, somewhere that we all kind of just go to, check out. So that's big. I like it.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got a question from here. It says, you mentioned the IOEBA standard for American bullies having one class. OEB is standards very diverse, allowing oldies in the same class anywhere from 14 to 21 inches. Part 2. Oh, I guess that's it. Yeah, I guess she's trying to ask if is there a point where we separate the oldies in classes, or
no? I mean, that's where breeders need to focus on breeding towards the standard. You know what I mean? The standard is the standard. I mean, we need to focus, and there can be variance within the standard, and every breed has that. That's not just oldie specific or bulldog specific. Every breed of dog has variance. Within their breed, but all breeders need to focus on the standard itself. So it's even if your dog is slightly above standard or slightly below standard, in the show ring, if that dog is superior in every other way than the dog next to it, but it is, slightly on the smaller side or slightly on the larger side, that dog is still allowed to win. You know what I mean? It's not a DQ to be slightly above or below the standard, but we should still focus on breeding towards that standard. And that applies to every dog, really. I mean, the registry, we really always want to encourage our breeders to focus on that, and any breeder that's worth anything needs to focus on that. But you're still allowed to have variance, and you're still going to get variance. I mean, with every dog. I mean, you may have one dog in a particular litter. If you're a breeder and you've been doing it a while, you know this. Dad weighs 80, mom weighs 65 within the standard, and you may get a pup that's 100. It just happens sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it doesn't mean that dog's not an oldie or whatever it is.
And it doesn't mean it can't win.
For sure.
I like it. Let's see.
The proportions got to be there, though, of course, right? It's got to be.
If all else is equal, if there's two dogs and everything else is equal, but you have one that's out of, say one that's 110 pounds and the dog next to it, all else is equal, then the dog that's within standard is going to win, should win. And
yeah,
we will make sure our judges do know that dog will win. But also, as a judge myself, it's hardly ever everything's equal in the ring. You know, like there's always going to be positive attributes and negative attributes. There's no perfect dog. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's got a follow up here. She said, not allowing different class. Can we be more strict in shows as far as standard goes, height, weight, more consistency? I think that's kind of what you're saying, that the dog that holds the closest to it, you know what I mean, is gonna be what carries.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
where do you fall at, like, on that same subject, like being a judge as type versus structure?
I'm sorry. Can you say you cut out on me?
So like bulldog type, right, and then like versus structure. Like, where do you kind of, when you're judging, where do you kind of fall at on that one? Or
type versus structure? I mean,
yeah.
I guess, can you kind of elaborate on that? I guess I don't.
Like we talked about having the oldie that looks like a bulldog still.
Yeah.
Versus, I don't know, like a big boxer or something like that. Type versus looking like a bulldog.
You're saying where do I fall in regards to the athletic type oldie versus the is that your question? Or
I guess it's kind of like I have one. She's really, really thick, really, really up here, right? Head type, all that's nice, little posty. You know what I mean? Things like that. Versus a dog who's got beautiful angulation and all that, but it's like, the dog's kind of thin, kind of like you said, like a boxer looking. Where he's asking,
we want these dogs to look like bulldogs. There's some people that really want to focus on the athletic side, which they have the ability to do that, but no matter what, even that dog needs to look like a bulldog. You know what I mean? No one, no one wants an oldie that looks like a boxer. But likewise, no one wants these oldies that you can tell the difference between an oldie and an English bulldog.
Yeah.
So we just as breeders, we really have to focus on breeding towards the standard of whatever breed we're breeding.
Oh, we told the difference on 4th of July. We're at this the community fireworks thing, whatever. And my brother's walking with his dog, oh, people, oh, what's that? What's that? Ooh, ooh. And then people are walking by with an English bulldog and the dog's in a wagon, like he's some kind of freaking prince or emperor or something like that.
We definitely don't want to get this breed to that point.
That's the difference.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
The dog you can walk versus the dog that has to be, like throwing flower petals before it as they drug it down the street like a parade. Like, come on, people.
It's really, I mean, it's a sad life for. We don't want. I mean, honestly, man, some of these exotic bullies and stuff, they're physical wrecks. I mean, we need to really focus on trying to produce healthy dogs. I mean, as breeders, we have a lot more responsibility than, we're guiding the course of the breeds we focus on.
That's why I like the Shorty Bull so much, because I think it's what those dogs should be.
The Shorty Bull is a great example. Correct. The Shorty Bull is what these exotics wish they were. Like these exotics are physical wrecks, and these Shorty Bulls are awesome.
I seen Jamie had a video where one of the Shorty Bulls jumped up on one of those wire spools like people use for a table. What?
Yeah,
I was like, you win.
They look great though. They look like a bulldog. I mean, they're all bulldog. You can't look at that dog and say it's not a bulldog.
Right.
But they function well. I mean, they're awesome.
Absolutely. Let's see here. And then it's okay. We got the judging announcements. I think we got a lot. And then let's see. The breeder ads. Like I said, everybody, once again, let's fill those breeder ads up. Let's check out Bully Breed Marketplace. I'm gonna check this out later on. I'm gonna go through it.
It's just getting started. It's just getting populated, but it's a nice platform to be able to showcase our dogs, bulldog specific.
I like it.
It's something similar to like a puppy find or a puppies.com, but for bulldog specific.
Yeah. See, that's my whole that's the whole reason that we do stuff like this. I'm really not the kind of I don't like being in front of cameras and stuff like that. It's really not my deal. It's not my bag, but I want these dogs to be out there. I want to how do you draw eyes on something, and so that's why I
wanted to come on here, man. I really appreciate what you're doing. I mean, you're gaining popularity for our breed, and you're putting the work in. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So it's definitely appreciated. This is long overdue. I'm glad I came on here for sure.
Yeah, we won't tell everybody how long we've been waiting to get you on here.
I've been nervous. This isn't. You say you don't like being on camera. I don't like being on camera.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I'm used to it. I don't shy away from it, but I don't.
This first podcast I've ever done, so
yeah, it ain't bad.
Yeah, it ain't bad. No, it's been blessed.
I like it. Yeah, it's gonna be fun doing it at the show.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I go full retard sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
We're excited. We put a lot into this show. I mean, we're getting really nice trophies. We just bought the ring, bought some tables and stuff. We're really trying to throw a really nice show. And this is not going to be the last. I mean, again, I'm gonna throw it out there to anybody if you're interested in hosting shows, doing judging. Just getting involved in this registry if you want to do it. So,
yeah, I like I said, my first Bulldogs. Everything had been registered here, and I guess I came along just after everything kind of started to go away, or however you put that. So I'm excited about the reboot, the relaunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good for the dogs, man. We need people to know about these dogs because they're too cool to be such a secret.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
exciting and fun as it is when you have your dogs out and someone's like, "Ooh, what's that?"
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think I'll be honest. We've had a lot of breeders kind of jump ship a little bit and start registering with other registries, but I think they'll always be second place. I know they'll always be second place. The oldies, the home for the oldies here. I mean, it's just the truth. We are still the number one registry for oldies, but I think a lot of breeders have really wanted to participate in shows, and that time period where we didn't have shows hurt us in a way. But I'm glad to be able to, just blessed to be able to, take this registry and really try to get it where it's long overdue and needs to be at. So
yeah.
I've had people interested in doing shows in Virginia, Ohio, California, Texas. So we want to do them everywhere.
So what is the benefit or what is the drawback to hosting a show?
I mean, benefit of hosting a show is you get a community around you. I mean, it's a sacrifice, really. I mean, you get a community around you. You get a showcase, the dogs in your area. The downside to hosting a show is that you can't show your dogs in the show you're hosting. So it's really a sacrifice when hosting a show. But you're bringing your local community together. And not just your local community, but surrounding states and stuff like that. And you're growing the breed. You're able to advertise your kennel all over the place when you do host a show. And someone who hosts a show here, they put in that sacrifice there. Well, they can attend someone else's show and show their dogs at that event. So there's a It is a sacrifice. It's a lot of work, but if you're in it for this breed, for all these breeds, for all these bully breeds, you're sacrificing your time right now doing this. You know what I mean? You're trying to grow the breed and grow your popularity with it, and hosting a show, kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I dig. I see that. I see that. I don't. I guess not showing your dogs, being able to show your dogs is, I mean, I don't think that's that big a deal. Not that I'm the person, I guess, to host a show anytime soon, but I'm saying, like, I don't think not being able to show my dogs is that big of a loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody. I mean, not everyone doesn't, not shows aren't for everybody, but it just, even if you don't like to participate in the show itself, just to go there and be with like-minded people who love these dogs, to be able to socialize with all these people, to see other dogs, what I mean? There's a lot of awesome dogs out there, man. I remember as a kid, I always thought we had awesome dogs, and we did, but then I seen some other people's dogs, and I was like, "Wow, that dude is a beat!" Like, I've seen some awesome dogs. There's some really impressive dogs out there. So,
okay, what's a dog that stays in your memory? Like, I thought, and then I seen fill in the blank dog, and I still remember that dog.
Man, I don't. I wish I remembered his name. I feel like maybe Jimmy Poulins is coming to mind. I know I'm saying his name wrong, but I was a little kid, and he's a big guy, and but he had a dog that was a beast. I mean, I couldn't even tell you the dog's name, to be honest, but I just remember as a kid that dog, and then there was a family friend when I lived in Texas, and it's not even a bulldog. It was a Neapolitan Mastiff. I'm telling you, I got a big head. I got a big head.
Yeah.
This dog.
I see it.
Appreciate it. This dog.
That ain't right.
I got one too.
This dog was like, his head was like 3 footballs. I mean, it was a monster. It was huge. It probably had, I'm not even joking, it probably had like what I envisioned was like a 50-pound head. Like, this dog was huge. Like Sandlot It was crazy. But bulldog wise, I mean, dogs that stick out. Man, there's a lot of awesome dogs out there. Phoenix Blues had some really awesome dogs. There's a lot of American Bulldogs that I think are awesome. To say a specific dog, I'm trying to think. Man, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. There's been a lot of great dogs. A lot of the gargoyle stuff was awesome too. I liked a lot of the gargoyle stuff. I thought they had some really awesome dogs.
All right. So I don't want to say scared of dogs as a kid, but we grew up walking everywhere. We walk everywhere, and people's dogs bark at you at the gate, at the fence, whatever. You walk. That was kind of like my experience with dogs, right? Or the dog tied up in the backyard that you can't really mess with, type of stuff, right? One day we're at Venice Beach, and this dude has a dog de Bordeaux, and that was the first time I'd ever seen and like interacted with, didn't feel like I had to run away, whatever, from a dog that big.
Yeah.
And like you said, the head, I had never seen nothing like that before. It was crazy. I still remember it. And then I asked the guy, I was like, man, what do you feed this thing? I don't know what I expected, but I asked. He's like, oh, he eats two whole raw chickens a day. I said, what? What'd you say? 2? Yeah. I mean, I'll never forget that dog.
Yeah, good. I've seen some really good quality mastiffs and stuff, and man, some of them are insane.
Yeah. What are you gonna say? Were you gonna clown me some type of way? What you got?
It's okay to be scared, bro.
Yeah. Hey, but that was our experience, though. I mean, keep it real. Walking to school, walking to wherever, and somebody's crazy dog that you were worried about jumping the gate. You know what I mean? I
just recently stopped being a police officer, wearing a uniform and dogs. Oh, I'm telling you,
something about it, huh?
Oh, dude, they do not like you.
Yeah. And I tell people too that people at the store or out wherever, can I pet the dog? Take your hat off, take your glasses off. They don't like that. They don't like that at all. Yeah. Let's see. I think
you got me thinking. I'm really trying to think of a dog that really sticks out to me. A lot of the Phoenix Blue stuff. Do you know some of the Phoenix Blue stuff? The old school Phoenix Blue stuff?
No, but I'm gonna try to look it up when we get off here.
They had some awesome dogs.
Yeah.
Wet-A-Mug had some cool dogs. My Bulldogs, some old school My Bulldog stuff.
Yeah.
Do
you like what's your thoughts on freezing semen? Do you do it? Have you used it?
No. So if I do stud service, I do chilled semen, is what I send out. Frozen semen, I mean, it loses its I mean the mortality. I don't want to
motility.
The motility of it goes down. But I mean it's proven. I mean it's usable. I do chilled semen is what I do for Real Bravo.
I mean, as far as like, let's say you had a dog 10 years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's taking steps back or anything like that. I mean,
that's kind of, I hear people say that a lot. Like, oh, haven't you got better in the last however many years? But I'm like, first of all, I've never done it. It goes to my mind because I'd be like, man, imagine if you could put Scarface to one of the girls we have now, like. Because they've come that far along, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that kind of ties into what I was about to say. Actually, some of these, like the American Bulldogs, man. These American Bulldogs used to be a lot. I mean, there's still some large American Bulldogs out there, but some of these American Bulldogs now are 90-pound males. They used to be 120 pound, 130 pound, 140 pound, even. Large American Bulldogs. Using that type of dog in a program, if you had access to chilled semen like Scarface, that's why it ties in because he's heavy American Bulldog. I think if I recall right, and I don't want to misspeak for him, but he said that. Did he say he was an F1? I thought he said he was either an F1 or an F2.
I think so, something like that. It's in there.
Yeah,
I think he might have said mother was an American Bulldog.
Yeah, so that'd be an F1. So
I
Scarface.
think
the
so. I
dog
think
that-
he said that. Not
yeah.
positive.
So the dog you admire, and I do too. I like him.
Yeah.
F1. So that right there shows, and a lot of people like him. I mean, he was an awesome dog. But that's an F1. So if you had access to some chilled semen off of, some old school American Bulldog or an oldie, if someone had access to Omen semen, Gargoyle's Omen semen or something like that, a Hugo or whatever, that'd be awesome. You know what I mean? I don't that's I enjoy being I'm a dog breeder myself, at heart. So
Yeah.
I enjoy this is fun, man. Like this is it should be fun. Like it's not I'm not, doing this for profit, da da da. I get people calling me and like, oh, I want this little short English Bulldog type. I'm not your breeder. You know what I mean? I want this tall, athletic, boxer type. I'm not your breeder. Like I breed for myself. If you like what I produce, purchase a puppy.
Right.
If you don't, that's awesome, man. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I hope you find what you're looking for. But breeding as a breeder myself, I mean, it's supposed to be fun. You know what I mean? So if I had access to, some old school dog, 20-year-old dog, chilled semen, I don't think that's a negative thing to use it in your program if he complements your program and what your desire is to get to your end goal.
Yeah. Okay.
It's supposed to be fun. So it's supposed to be fun. So if you can't, if there's a set rule, like, oh, you don't do that, like then.
Yeah, I just hear a lot of people people who honestly have been at it a lot longer than me, forgot more than I know. Like, I mean, I'm admitting that off the tops when I say it, but they kind of say that, like, haven't you got further than, gone forward with it, or but I'm yes, and that's kind of the point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're as a breeder, I mean, every generation you should be looking to improve your program. But I'm not saying to make it your program, but if you're, in my specific Real Bravo, I kind of have two bloodlines that I kind of intertwine and then pull back out from one another. But if I kind of want to do a little side project here, I don't see that as a terrible thing at all. In fact, I'll just say it right now. I'd like to get a really nice American Bulldog and do an F1 breeding. I look forward to doing that. Like I plan on doing it. It's because some of the best oldies out there have the American Bulldog.
Yeah. I agree. I think of it like
produce another Scarface. I want to make another Scarface. Like, you know what I mean?
Like how in cars they have these resto mods.
Yeah.
Where it's on the outside, it's a 60 whatever Camaro, 68 Camaro, but inside it's got fuel injection, air condition, everything that a modern car, but it just, it's got that old school, so
yeah,
I think that'd be fun. I think I agree with you. It should be fun.
I mean, why do it then? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and that's what kind of my vision of the show ring. Like, it's not just the show. You want to be there for the community and see these other dogs. Like, you know what I mean? That's the fun of it. Watching the kids have fun doing it too. You know what I mean? The fun show or the junior handler. Some of these kids at junior handler events, man, like it's awesome just watching them. They get into it. Is
it too much to ask a couple dogs that you kind of look forward to seeing? Because you're not judging the show or anything like that, right?
I am judging.
Oh, you are. Okay.
Yeah,
well, maybe I don't know if you can answer that question.
There's no bias here, so
yeah.
That one I'll definitely say. There's a lot of awesome dogs though.
Yeah, that wouldn't be ethical.
Yeah,
the best dog will win. I'll just say that.
I got you.
And,
I'm saying because you literally
on this too. There's only one winner in a show. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people win, but that's the downside to dog shows, and it always has been the downside to dog shows. There's a lot of hurt feelings at dog shows. People need to understand. Just if you don't win it all, doesn't mean your dog's junk.
Right.
And another thing that's a very true statement. A good handler can make a good dog look bad, or excuse me, a good handler can make a
Right.
bad dog look good, and a
Mhm.
bad handler can make a good dog look bad. So,
Oui.
and sometimes your dog is just not having its day. You know what I mean? So, I with dog shows, there's always been a lot of hurt feelings, and people just need to. I would love attendees to really focus on not allowing that to be.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big focus.
Yeah. Because there's only one Super Bowl champ. Everybody else lost the last game of the season.
But it doesn't mean that a bunch of them dudes aren't studs either.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what people kind of like.
The best team doesn't always win either.
This is true. You know what I mean? This
It's
is
whatever
true.
whatever dog was that day. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have your day.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Oh man, I can't wait. I'm gassed up now.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be for real fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the future all the way around. I mean, the dog shows, but just the registry. I mean, there's just so much we want to do.
So we're heading in a good direction.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I hope so. We've gotten a lot of feedback, and people seem to feel that way. And I'm definitely. I mean, it's my entire focus.
I like it.
Entire focus.
I'm gonna have to get me a handler, man.
Handler?
I have to get one, yeah.
Yeah, you don't like handling yourself?
Shouldn't say I haven't before.
So that's another change that we did. We initially were so it was originally written no professional handlers, and we changed that. Professional handlers, they're not encouraged or discouraged. Do you know what I mean? Initially, it was previously when we were doing shows, they weren't allowed. But now, I mean, some people just don't want to handle. You know what I mean? It's just the truth. So, but they want to showcase their dogs. So,
dog handling is its own cottage industry.
Oh, it's an art.
I never realized.
Oh, it's an art. Yeah,
check it. We went to the show, and we had a booth, and like the booth next to us, or maybe two booths. It wasn't far at all. They were just right there. You know what I mean? And they got a double booth with. I mean, they got canopies. We're indoors. They got canopies. Whatever you got them, you got it flaunted. Whatever. But they took like a whole bunch of like tackle box looking boxes all over the tables with like show leads in it, and then there was like 5 or 6 probably women they all had the same red dress on, and that was like they were the handlers. They were just there to handle dogs, and it was a trip. I was like, I didn't know it was, but I guess like it. I watched it for a little bit. I just sat there and watched. Like they're really running in and out of there, just grabbing this dog and this leash and making sure everything matches and fluffing their hair and back to like wow. So yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Some people just focus on it. They don't even want to necessarily raise dogs or breed dogs. They just want to handle at dog shows. Like that's what they want to do.
I think AKC has I think breeder owner handler is its own class, I think. Or there's a distinction or something like that.
Yeah,
there's a thing to it.
Yeah, they have it split up.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. I like it. All right, John. Any last words, last closing remarks?
If anyone has any questions with the registry, there's actually, I will say this, there's been a lot of breeders who have actually contacted me wanting to kind of come back on board, and we are offering highly discounted rates to breeders that are wanting to come back on board. So what we're doing, I just did it with a breeder last week, actually a couple last week, but like this particular breeder, pretty much what we did is we registered her kennel for free, and then we gave her 50% off on all her dogs. And what we did is we gave them a 30-day period. So we made a discount code specifically for them. This is what we're doing is we're making discount codes specific for the breeders, and then give them a 30-day period to just come and register all their dogs over. And then that way they can get everything registered back over with us, or I've had several breeders that want to come from like ABKC. They're a BRC breeder, and they want to come register with us. So that's kind of what we're doing with it. So if you are a breeder who wants to come on board, give us a call, ask to speak to me, and we'll see what we can do for you.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
I appreciate you having me on here for sure.
Hey, bro, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on here. Like I said, the times that we've got to talk, whatever, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And like I said, I'm on board. We're on board.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate what you guys are doing too. It's good all the way around for the breed, and it's little things, man. You guys are putting in the work, so definitely appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, well, I'll let you go, man. I'll be looking forward to watching you on when you talk to Joe.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
All right, take it easy.
Have a good one. Yep.
Thank you, guys.
All right.